When we take a look at data, we can see and ask how that data is distributed, which asks what kind of distribution do we see? And there's some very, very famous ones. I want to share with you one of the most famous and one of the most important, which is called a normal distribution. A normal distribution is like a shape of the data when you plot the points, gives you like a bell curve, a very attractive bell curve looking thing. One of the telltale signs of a normal distribution include the fact that the data is symmetric around the center. You see how it's symmetric, and that all the measures of center are actually equal. So the mean, the median, and the mode are all going to be equal to that very center point. And so when you have this very nice bell-shaped curve, you're looking at something which is thought to be normal. So this is an example of a normal distribution. Now, sometimes the data is not normally distributed. Like here's a data set, and you can see this is an example of a data set that's not normal, because you can see, first of all, it's not symmetric at all, right? And notice that the measures of center are not all equal, right? The mode, for example, is over here, but it's not clear that the median is going to be right there, and the mean is certainly not going to be there because of all the spread of the data. So you can see that there's not a nice symmetry. And so we often refer to data sets like this as skewed, because in this case, notice that there's kind of this skewing going on, and so it's not attractive. Normal, nice, and skewed is more interesting. So let's take a look at some examples and see if we can classify whether we think the data is conforming to a normal distribution or something that's more skewed. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of examples together and have some fun. Okay, so here we go. So the first data set I want us to look at, so I'm given a data set and a dot plot that display the grades of some of my students. And our mission is to try to describe the shape of the data distribution. So here are the grades, bunch of grades. And what I did was I actually plotted them. So here's the dot plot. And if you look at this, you see that it's actually perfectly symmetric along this point right here. And actually, if you find the mean of this data, you'll see that it's actually exactly 79, which is this value right here. And you can just look at visually and see that that's actually the mode. It's the most popular answer, if you will. And also, it's the median in the sense that it's the middle value of all the data, because you can see how it's symmetrically placed. So given the fact that it has this bell-shaped like curve and all the measures of center are the same, it looks like that this data set conforms to a normal distribution. So this looks normal, which is kind of cool. Okay, great. Now, how about another example? The data set and dot plot display the number of pets that 15 students have. Our mission is to try to describe the shape of the data distribution. So here is the raw data, just the number of pets that 15 students have. And then here's the dot plot. And when you look here, you can see that this is not symmetric. You can see that the mode is 1 pet. That's the most popular answer. The middle value, if you step it out, is actually going to be 2. So that's the middle value. So that's the median. And if you compute the mean, or the average of adding them all up and dividing by 15, you see 2.2. So since these measures of center are not equal, this cannot be a normal distribution. And in fact, if you look at it, it looks skewed. It does look skewed. So in fact, this is an example of a skewed distribution.